Welcome to class Summit. In this class, I want to show us how to sew a bustier and an armhole princess dart. And I want to believe that before we get to this point, you must have drafted your armhole or bustier darts, and the sewing is where you have issues. So in this class, I'll be showing us how to join it so that you get the maximum benefits or it comes out very well for you. Okay, so let's go ahead. So first of all, before I start joining, I'm going to use my pin to secure it as in put them together to make sure that it matches up, right? You can see at this point it is matching, but then while sewing it, you might notice that one part may be longer than the other part. Okay, we're going to show you in case that happens how you're going to do it or go about it. So I'm trying to use my pin to secure it, and at this point everything is lapping up properly. So I added half-inch sewing allowance, and I'm going to be sewing on the half-inch sewing allowance. So while joining, always make sure that you start from the lower parts, from the bottom to the top. So I'm going to place it on half-inch sewing allowance, and I'll place my needle. Make sure the needle is sharp, and I'll secure it, like tighten it before I start sewing. So I'm going to keep going. You might not run on top of your needle so that you don't break it. Okay, so I have to be very careful with it. As you sew, use your hand. Once you get to the underbust, you're going to either make a pivotal turn or use your hand to change it, like turn it this way so that it continues from the curve. Now, I think what causes this is because of is the footer of the machine or the feed dog, whichever one. While sewing, you notice that the upper part is always increasing more than the lower part, or while the shorter part is shortening more than the upper part. Okay, so I'll remove this pin and use my hand to align it properly so that no part becomes longer than the other. So like so, I'm done with one part. I remove the pins and check what I have done. If it's not giving me what I want, there is always room to redo it. So this is one part. You can see the way it is. It's already shooting out. So I think it's okay like this. All I'm going to do is to notch and iron. I will notch and iron. Okay, so I'm going to sew the other part, the armhole princess dart. So as usual, right side to right side, I've used my pin to put it together before I place it for sewing. Usually half inch as my sewing allowance, and I'm going to proceed the same way. These things are not so difficult. You just have to keep practicing. Sorry, I have to fix this. So just the same process. You can see the way I turned at the underbust. In case you don't want your thread to cut, remove the needle and continue, the pin rather. So at this point, the bust point, need to be you need to monitor it so that it doesn't look pointy the way you sew it. Just continue it on a curvy um sewing. Don't make a pivotal turning around that point so that it doesn't look pointy. Okay, so I'll just continue. Once I'm out of the curve, I continue straight down to where it should end. So I'm going to also check it to be sure, don't mind this blue pen, to be sure of what I have done, if it is what I intend to do. Okay, so you can see the way it's sitting. There's no black cup inside, and you can see how it's popping out already without ironing, without notching. So I'm just going to notch this and then give it a very nice press. I'm going to notch it this way, which might not be so advisable. If it's going to be advisable, you have to notch it this way. Okay, but then allow me to notch what I want to notch. Okay, make sure you don't cut your thread. Make sure you don't cut your seam um, line. If not, you're going to do it again, and this time around it might not be funny. So once I finish notching this way, to help it relax properly, I'm just going to give it a very nice ironing. So for how to iron and mold your bust, we have uh, a nice video on how you can do that. The link is in the description box. Just a 2 minutes video. Watch it and see how to iron your bustiers very well. The same thing with this one. Okay, so continue. So here is the blouse. I went ahead to fix the net that I showed us. Right, so after fixing the net, just to save us some time, I'll use the lining, which I've already joined together before, to turn the neckline from here, because here is neck. So I'm going to turn from here, which I have done, and I will use it to turn every part because I need the upper part to be neatly finished. I'll equally use it to turn the um, sleeve, the shoulders. Okay, so there's nothing actually difficult here. It's just the normal way you turn your shoulders and all. There's nothing serious, just the normal way to turn the shoulders, and here too. Okay, so once that is done, we're almost done, and the next thing is I'm going to fix the sleeve. Now I did not turn the armhole. You can decide to after fixing the sleeve, but I think I'm just going to weave it. Okay, since there is no lining on this part, I'll just weave it, fix it to the lining and the main garments at the same time, and weave. After which we're going to fix the lower part, and that will be it. So I'll just go straight now to get the basic sleeve, just basic sleeve, and fix it round. This is what we have. Now, while I was trying to fix the basic sleeve, the net that is used for the basic sleeve, I decided to add this because it's just going to be a waist. This is just the leftover, okay, and I didn't want it to go round. It's just a leftover, so I decided to make something like this and attach it together with the net. Maybe in another video I'll show us how I did the sleeve, but it's just a simple sleeve, right, in addition to the basic sleeve, just like you saw it in the picture. So I didn't plan it, the two of them, the idea just came as I was fixing, and I decided to fix them together. At this part, both of them were joined. While this one is hanging, this one is just the normal sleeve. Okay, so after that I joined the lower part. This is the inside. The upper part has a lining, the lower part does not have a lining, so I will just use this lining to cover this area. Okay, so the last thing we're going to do now is to fix our zip, is to fix our zipper, and we'll be done with this gown. Okay, for how to fix zipper, we'll have videos on how to fix the zipper. The link will be in the description box. So thank you for watching. Thank you, thank you, thank you.